The story behind Barbie.avi. Uploaded to YouTube on August 9th, 2009 by user Xenopasta. The video titled Barbie.avi is one of the earliest creepy relics uploaded to the site. Barbie.avi is a multi-part series with a found footage backstory that remains mysterious to this day. In part 1, we are introduced to a woman in her early 20s talking with someone off camera. The visuals have an analog horror vibe with low fidelity, like it was filmed on an old CRT TV. The audio quality is distorted, adding to the uncomfortable tone of the video and making much of the conversation unable to be understood. Who is the woman in Barbie.avi, and what's the story behind this YouTube relic? On July 14th of 2009, a few months before the video was uploaded to YouTube, the Barbie.avi was first posted on the notorious image board 4chan. The first video had a link to the thread in its description, so, for a time, curious viewers or those seeking answers to the Barbie.avi mystery could go straight to the source. But adding to the eerie legacy of this iconic video, the original thread that introduced the world to Barbie.avi has since been deleted. Internet archaeologists recalled the thread discussed the video along with background on its origins. It's also interesting and a bit unsettling to learn that there's not just one Barbie.avi, but instead the video was split into 4 parts. The strangest part from these early days of the Barbie.avi story is that of the 4 videos supposedly uncovered, 1 went missing. The third video in the 4-part bizarre odyssey of Barbie.avi had vanished from the net completely. The missing third video added to the mystery of Barbie.avi. Why would a piece of this distorted and surreal video series disappear? Did it contain the answers to the identity of this woman? In the now defunct post, the original poster told a story about how he obtained the notorious Barbie.avi. The anonymous user was at a friend's house party, and at some point he went inside. His friend's house was in an urban and industrial setting, with alleyways and high-rises in the distance. The neighborhood was filled with factories, making for an eerie sight and filling the air with a disturbing silence after work hours. He awoke to a smashing sound, and when he looked out the window, on the ground below, he found an old and beat-up computer smashed on the pavement near a pile of garbage. Intrigued, the anonymous poster scavenged the PC and brought it home in his girlfriend's car. After gaining access to the hard drive, the poster found it only contained Barbie.avi. The original post read, quote, "Hello. This thing happened to me a few months ago. I just need to share it with somebody. I searched for movies, and one file came up. It was in .avi inside a folder titled Barbie hidden in the Windows/System32 directory. About 15 minutes into the footage, her face begins to redden and contort as if the questions are bothering her. But she continues to answer them anyway. Shortly after, she begins to cry. She sobs hysterically for the duration of the film. One of the few words I could lip read was, "skin." There is much more I have to get off my chest. But it is getting late, and I can't go on. I will share the rest tomorrow. God, save my soul. What the poster said is true. You can clearly see the focus on skin during part of the video. She even pulls at the skin of her arm. Eventually, she breaks down and the video simply fades out. But that wasn't the end of the story. After the anonymous poster went to bed, he took another crack at the video. He tried isolating the woman's voice in editing software to get a clearer idea of what she was talking about, but that didn't shed any light on the mysterious interview. He became obsessed, rewatching the hour-long video over and over. That's when he noticed, after 2 minutes of pitch darkness, the video footage continued, only this time, we're in a different place. In this section, the stationary camera work was replaced with jarring, shaky footage, like it was held by an inexperienced camera worker. Through the blurry footage, he saw legs walking along a train track. He suspected the camera was left on by accident, as it was being carried. This section goes on for 6 grueling minutes. He sat glued to his monitor on the edge of his seat. Then, the person holding the camera turned and walked into the forest behind the train tracks. The grass seemed to have been traveled before. The tall grass had been bent down like someone dragged something through it, and there was a trail of plywood. Then the video ends. The poster then said, quote, "Now my heart started beating with excitement because there were train tracks a few miles away that looked very similar to the one in the video. I had to check this out. I called up my friend. He's 6'4", 250 pounds of mostly muscle. I convinced him to go on a little adventure with me. This whole idea of investigating this video had me so excited I couldn't sleep. The next morning, I took my flashlight, my camera, and my 7-inch K-bar. When I woke my friend up, he pretty much told me to fuck off. I decided to go through with it without him. I parked my car at the train station, took my stuff, and hopped onto the tracks. After walking for about 2 hours, I saw a broken piece of plywood, and my knees almost buckled with excitement. I searched the nearby foliage, and there it was, a little plywood trail leading into the forest. At this point, many would turn back, but he continued on down the path. He would stop to listen for any movement as he walked along the makeshift path. The wood made sneaking difficult, and the remote area meant if he ran into trouble, he might have to fight for his life. He didn't expect to find anything. He just felt like he was exploring, none the wiser that the connection to skin from Barbie.avi could lead to dark findings. At the end of the path, he found a clearing with an abandoned house, overgrown by the forest. He took a few photos from afar, noting a rickety tool shed made from rusted sheet metal. He stood transfixed by the sight. Finally, his nerves began to take hold. He felt paralyzed, unable to step into the clearing, fearing he would be seen without the meager protection of the forest around him. When he finally got the courage to walk forward, he found the door to the house was left slightly open. He explored the house, finding mostly holes in the walls, and remarking that it was mostly empty, though he did record something that would later disturb him. On the second floor, a folding table and chairs seemed to have been placed there more recently. The basement door was locked, and in the bathroom, the mirror was cleaned of dust, and a plastic tarp in the tub still had water on it. Almost on cue, he heard a moaning sound, leaped from the window, and ran back down the path. He said he later realized it could have been a water pipe making noise, but why would an abandoned house have running water? Over the next 5 years, speculation about Barbie.avi circulated among online communities. A user from the now also defunct Yahoo Answers made a question post about the video, and pages opened up on the Creepypasta wiki, the Paranoid wiki, the No Sleep subreddit, and more. Some believe the video was ripped and edited footage from the French movie Albert Souffre, or Albert Suffers. They claimed the woman was French actress Josephine Fresson, but why would she say skin in English when the word is peau in French? Also, the description of the movie doesn't fit at all with the tone of the clip, even if it had better audio. All 4 clips are supposed to be around an hour long, so it would be a movie of just a woman sitting and talking, which it's clearly not. For years, a common theory on the video stemmed from the text appearing briefly at the start of the video reading BIID. Unlike normal creepypasta ciphers, this was quickly found to be an actual acronym for Body Integrity Identity Disorder. Those with BIID essentially want to become amputees. It's like an extreme version of body dysmorphia, though it seems to be distinct from gender dysmorphia-related discomfort. This theory held a lot of weight, since early in Part 4, Barbie raises her arm, showing that she has a mostly amputated right arm. But if she really did have BIID, and had her arm removed, why would she be so distraught toward the end of the video? Regardless, those who believed in this theory thought that the basement from the house could have been where the interview took place, or perhaps where Barbie lost her arm. Doctors will usually be unable to remove healthy limbs for legal and ethical reasons. So, fans of this theory believe a doctor may have performed the amputation in the abandoned house. However, in recent years, it was discovered that the woman in the video was named Tammy or Becky, and the original video was located. It was an interview shot in 1989 and uploaded to a support group called Free Amputee. The original video, titled Tammy, RAE, had better audio, and in it we learn that Tammy was trying to situate her laundry when the spin cycle accidentally went off. Her arm got trapped in the sheet and was horrifically twisted off. Russian users of a paranormal image board even tracked down the missing third section of the video. While the secrets of Barbie.avi are mostly solved, the strange house in the woods still remains a mystery.